Salvete, today we are introducing the vocabulary and derivatives for lesson 2. This lesson is called Iona Prima Pars. So that means Jonah part 1. So we're going to be talking about the story of Jonah. So these vocabulary words are going to have to do with that story. So as you learn the vocabulary words, you might start thinking about that story. All right, first we have prophet, and it is propheta, prophetai, masculine. And you might want to follow along in your books as we do this. So propheta, prophetai, masculine. Next we have God, deus, dei, masculine. And from a word like this, we would get a word like deity or deify. Deify means to make something, to think of something as a god. Okay. And then ship, we have novice, novice, feminine. And from this word, we would get a word like navy or a word like navigate. For storm or tempest, we have tempestas, tempestatis. So just note here, this is a third declension, so note that ending change. This would go under various is, emf, so tempestas, tempestatis. And of course, from a word like that, we would get a word like tempest. Next we have wave, fluctus, fluctus, masculine. From this word, we would get a word like fluctuate, which means to go up and down like a wave. Next we have sailor, nauta, nautai, masculine. And just a little note, this is one of just a few words that are in the first declension, but it is a masculine word, not a feminine word. So nauta, nautai, a derivative of this would be like nautical, which is something to do with the sea. For captain or pilot, like of a ship, we have gubernator, gubernatoris, masculine. So we get a fun word from this. Gubernatorial is an English word that we still use to refer to governors. So we talk about gubernatorial elections. Next is a lot. And so this is something that people would do back in Bible times or old days. It was kind of like rolling the dice. So they would use stones or pebbles, something like that. And this is what they're going to use in the story of Jonah to find out that Jonah is the bad guy and he needs to be thrown overboard. So this is lot, and the Latin word is source, sortis, feminine. Next we have, so let's see. The derivative of lot would be a word like sort. That's a derivative there. C, we have mara, maris, neuter. So a derivative of that would be marine. So that can refer to the sea, or submarine is, a craft that goes under the sea. All right, next we have blame or guilt, and is culpa, culpi, feminine. From that word, we would have a word like culpable or culprit. If you're the culprit, it means you did something wrong. So that comes from this Latin word for guilt. Okay, next we have calm. This is an adjective, and it's serenus, serena, serenum. So from this, we would get an English word like serene, which just means calm. Okay. Large, we've already learned this one, another adjective. Magnus, magna, magnum. We would get a word like magnify from this. So magnify means to make something bigger. Okay, next we have a word too much, and it is nimis. And there are no derivatives for that word. All right, next we have a verb, and it is he tosses, and this is iactat. There are also no derivatives for this one. And then he fears, timet. So from this word we would get a word like timid or timorous, which can mean afraid. And then he throws, we've learned this one already too, yacket. We would get a word like eject from this. So if you're ejected from something, it means you're thrown out. So these two words are similar. This is he tosses, yaktot. This is he throws, yakat. Now we have another verb, he sends, and it is mittit. And from this word, we would get a word like missionary or messenger. And then finally, we have above, and this is super plus accusative. So we would have a lot of English words that would use the prefix super. So super plus accusative means above. All right, that concludes the introduction to the vocabulary and the derivatives. So you can write the derivatives, you can copy the derivatives if you have the teacher's guide, or you can look those up in a dictionary, but that is on page 13. You can write down those Latin words and the derivatives, and then be sure to be reviewing your vocabulary with the vocabulary review video as well.